You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey there, Days of Our Lives fans. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt, and I've got your Days of Our Lives early edition weekly spoilers for July 10th through July 14th. We've got a missing kid. We've got a maniac on the loose. We've got an angry fiance, and we've got a couple interrupted when they're having some very, very sexy time together. All right, we're going to dig into all this for you, but if you haven't, please click that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our Days of Our Lives spoilers, casting news, and more. All right, let's dig in. So our first early edition spoiler is that Xander Cook and Chloe Lane are in bed enjoying some intimate moments when they are interrupted. And there's only really two people that it should be a big deal if it's about, and that's Brady or Sarah, all right? Brady, I don't think would come over to Chloe's place because he's kind of realized that he's just missed out with her and, you know, she's moving on. But Sarah Horton has been the subject of a lot of encouragement and cheerleading from Bonnie Kiriakis, telling her, come back to Salem, go get your man because he's got a new girl. And if you wait too long, you're going to lose out. So maybe Sarah decides it's time to stake her claim, tell him about the baby, and snatch him away from Chloe. I'm down for it. I think it'd just be real fun to see Xander be at the center of a love triangle with two ladies, because usually he goes through these periods of like unrequited love. I think Gwen was the only one who hopped right into bed with him, and, you know, he and Chanel married, but I don't know. I guess they fooled around. I don't know. It was a marriage of weird inconvenience, but I enjoy him with Chloe. I enjoy him with Sarah. And I think it'd be a whole lot of fun to have that piece of beefcake be, you know, the meat in a little sandwich where they're fighting over him. And, you know, he's falling for Chloe, but then Sarah's got the baby. So I think that would just be a lot of fun. All right. So our next early edition spoiler is that Stefan DiMera is very upset with Gabi Hernandez. What does he have to be upset about? Let's think. Maybe it's because his fiance jumped on the back of a gun-wielding, brainwashed maniac to try and save his life. I mean, maybe Stefan feels emasculated that she saved him, but to be fair, and maybe she'll explain this to him, she's lost him to a gunshot before. Remember, it was Lonnie Price that shot him when he took a bullet for Vivian Alamain, and so she has been in that scenario. She wasn't there and witnessed that shooting, but she went through losing him only to have this weird twin miracle that can never be reenacted unless they're going to start bringing in, you know, previously unknown triplets. But it triggered her, no pun intended, and I don't think she's going to be apologetic at all, but I'm interested to see this conversation. All right, also next week, we're going to have Harris Michaels making a request of Dr. Marlena Evans. The week that we're in right now, the week of July 3rd, Doc hypnotizes him because she's trying to figure out what Rolf did to him so that she can try to unspurl it and get it out of his brain. But Harris is worried about what he might do, so he wants Marlena to stick him in Bayview for safekeeping. That's interesting because there are some other Salem residents in Bayview. I'm trying to remember, but I know that there's Ava Vitale is there, I know, and maybe another. I'm trying to think. I just feel like there's like one other person that's in Bayview that's off the character canvas right now. So that might be interesting to have some Bayview scenes if there's somebody there that they're interested in. All right, our next to the last spoiler for the week ahead that we have in these early edition spoilers is that we have Abe Carver's funeral, and family is gathered around his widow, Paulina Price, to comfort her. And this week we had crazy cat lady Whitley showing up at Paulina's place to offer condolences, and she will still be holding on to Abe by the time his funeral rolls around. And I don't know what her long-term plan is, because the man is the former mayor. Everyone in town knows him. is she just going to like do him like Misery and just keep him tied up forever? So a little terrifying. And I'm also wondering if Whitley shows up at the funeral, because that would be really weird. And what would be really, really cool is if Abe managed to get out of her house and just wandered into his own funeral. I think that would be a whole heck of a lot of fun, and I would definitely be down for that. And that is the kind of plot that Ron Carlivati has written before back in his tenure on General Hospital. So it's in his wheelhouse, because that's why we call him Rerun, because he loves to redo storylines, but he generally picks good ones. All right, before we get into our last early edition spoiler, if you've not, please click that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our Days of Our Lives spoilers, casting news, all your updates you want to know about your favorite streaming soap. All right, so finally, Kristen tells Marlena that she wants to change her custody agreement with Brady Black. So remember, Kristen had lost the case before because Chloe had testified against her, if I recall correctly. And then with her just getting out of jail, it's like I don't think she has much of custody except other than probably what Brady is forced to let her have so that Rachel doesn't have a fit. And she wants joint custody, no doubt. And, she, again, may be using this to try to get in close to Brady like she usually does, especially if she knows that Chloe is with Xander and that Brady is completely alone. Maybe she thinks, I've got another chance to get back with him. And it might work because, she is Brady's very, very worst habit, and he does keep repeating that mistake. All right, check back for full weekly spoilers in a day or two, and then 2-week spoilers, and then our weekly edition of Comings and Goings and more. Share your comments below. We love to talk to you guys.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.